Okay, so it's beginning of October 2025, and this is going to be the continuation of the series. It's real life, but it's also a social documentary, I guess, to see when you are going through hard times, if your neighbors will come, Well, I can only just document myself. So context is I was running, there's been a few times in my life I've faced food insecurity, and it's 2025. A lot of folks are dealing with, it's kind of a taboo subject, but I think many are dealing with eating less for financial reasons, let's say. There's other reasons, of course, why someone might eat less. But yeah, food is only increasing. I've noticed that in my area. Almost every week I'm noticing, usually, there's many items I find have increased, even if it's just by a few cents or something. Basically, in general, nothing seems to be going down, truly going down. And I live in a kind of high-cost area in general, with food, with housing, with everything. So I can get it. So yeah, there's times where I face those issues, and for instance, the last about 2 weeks or so. And so I started documenting on the channel just to show at least once. I don't know how often I'll do it. Obviously, I don't want to deal with these issues, but we're being realistic. As I said, there is a social taboo. You never know what kind of nastiness you might be dealing with. So I don't know if I'll be truly honest on this channel as far as the frequency I have to deal with this, or I do deal with this. So I might share more going into the future, I might not. But for now, the last 2 weeks or so, I've been, I think, sharing most of what I've encountered. So this is let's see, I don't even remember when this started. I think it was around September 25th, and now we're October. It's the first week of October, a few days into October 2025, so it's been a little bit over a week. And today I had received some items, so it's literally just a few, but there's some cheese there, some celery. Let's see, I guess this is kale, I think. I don't know, I don't really eat kale. Grapes. I think it's mostly veggies. Oh, shoot. Dropped some carrots. Additional. Some green beans. Quite a decent amount. That can be into about 2 decent sized meals as kind of a main. And some starchy veggies, a few of those. So that is what I had received today. And then somebody else had given me a little bit of money, like $30, so that I could go to the food bank if needed. Yeah, that's how much it costs around here if you don't have a vehicle. If you do, you would cover the cost of gas and then just general maintenance of the car. So it would be considerably less. So those green beans look nice for now, not gonna lie. I'm like, should I make them? I'm somewhat full. I don't really need any more food right now, but it's just that fresh veggies. So I have to, within a few days, this issue should resolve itself, at least for the moment. And I should have more funds for food and, back to normal. The normal ways I get food, and everything should be fine. But I can't continue doing things the way I have, otherwise I'll run into the same issue towards the end of the month. So I'm still learning how to avoid this issue, which is tough because of my many circumstances of my living situation. If you know, you know. I've talked about it on the channel. Anyway, so this is it was sort of a lunch, but it might be a little bit of a late dinner. It's like a chili rice thing with vegetables I made. This is with what I had. It's just flour, butter, oil, chocolate. What else? I was trying to make muffins and it didn't really turn out exactly how I thought, but they were still delicious to me. I don't know. I'm kind of a tough critic, but I'm like, I did a good job, I have to admit. So that's gonna last a while. That's gonna last for a few days. I'll have something sweet, homemade, because cannot afford baked goods for sure. Generally can't, unless they're on clearance, and even then. That's the thing I miss most about not having much of an income is the baked goods. You have to do it yourself, do everything yourself. So this last hour or so, it took me at least an hour, I would say, maybe more. And I still have a few dishes and to make all my food and stuff. It's just, I don't really enjoy it that much, to be honest. But that's what you have to do, or you don't eat. So unfortunately, that's simple. I didn't do much today. It was kind of evening time. Some additional housework, I'm assuming. And that's it. And those muffins are very filling. Has a little bit of blueberry. Why do I feel like I made something else? No, I don't think I did. I also received, I think I forgot to mention it on the channel, a few things from someone. This was like a few days ago. It wasn't a whole lot, but it was still like more than what I received today. So there's some treat items, yogurt, cheese, dark chocolate, a bar. Forgot what else. Sliced almonds, corn mix maybe, baking soda, some nut butter, kind of a large can, a jar I should say, it's a jar. Is there anything else? Bread, I think there was. Oh, is that from someone else? No. It's because I think I filmed myself talking about the first two giftings. There's just a few people so far that have reached out, let alone given me anything, but I think I talked about all of it. And I had talked about like the first few individuals, what they had given me, but I didn't talk about what went on today yet, what I received today. And so there's several days where I didn't receive anything, which I'm not entitled, but again, we're just documenting, we're just, stating all the facts. And I did mention, which is true, and it might make me sound a certain way, but it's the truth, that, although all this was nice, we're talking about mostly, like, you saw, for instance, today, like, we're talking about a few items usually for each individual, so you gotta think how much that will last you. So, thank goodness. I already had some stuff of my own, and this is why I tell folks to stock on extra if they can, if finances allow, because I know if you're in this situation, it does calm your mind knowing that you have some, like, at least emergency basics, because if you have to rely on the kindness of others, they're not going to give you much. And you might not like the way that you have to get the so-called kindness, I mean, I've dealt with harassment. I've dealt with folks saying, like, quite nasty stuff. Some of it were lies, just total lies. So it's always like, every time I feel like I have to ask, I'm like, brace myself. What do I have to deal with this time, It's not a comfortable situation to be in. And that's why I really tried to avoid it unless I'm quite low. And that's why I always, even then, tried to have some extra items, because I don't want to be having to be at the mercy of even my neighbors, generosity. Or lack of, I don't know. In general, lack of, because most neighbors don't. There's some neighbors who know that maybe someone in the community is kind of falling on hard times. And I don't know, maybe this is just my area, but I feel like folks, some of them at least know that I'm in this situation right now, and they don't. I'm sure most that do know have not reached out. I mean, there's very few, and this is across years, on and off, very, very few who have actually done anything. Can maybe count on, I was going to say one hand, but maybe both. I'll be fair and say maybe you can count on both hands. But that's about it. So, yeah, a few more days, and that ideally things will be back to normal, and we just have to learn how to manage better because I don't want to have to ask again, and I can already tell. The more I ask, the more like, it almost feels like I've got a certain amount of chances, not that many, and once I reach that number, there's going to be no more chances. And I've noticed, to be frank, 2024 was a bit different than 2025. Like, even 2023 was easier. I don't know if folks were nicer or more generous, but it was easier to get something that you may need from a neighbor, friend, whatever. Nowadays, it feels like hardly anybody is willing to give anything, and there's this real kind of rancor. There's like, what's the word? Like this real rage or something against those that might need or want something. I don't know. Some of the reactions are like, sometimes I feel like the instinct